The Chronicle thanks our 2023 Meet the Candidates sponsors: Ann Colton Films, Flossmoor Station Restaurant and Brewery, Jonathan Kane Salon and Spa, and Tom Brabeck Law Office. With their help, HF voters will be well informed on Election Day, April 4th.
My name is Jim Mitros. I am a sitting trustee for the Village of Flossmoor. I've been doing this job for 28 years now, and I'm running for re-election. I've pretty much grown up in Flossmoor, raised a family here. I have 4 children, and my wife and I still live over in Gulfview. I think I've always had a passion for it. I love Flossmoor. I mean, I will always do everything in my power to, propel Flossmoor forward and do what's in the best interest of Flossmoor. It's not always been easy, but we've been, I think, really successful, and I think I have quite a track record of successes over those years. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of really good boards and mayors, but we've done a lot of really good work, and sometimes having experience at a job is a good thing, and that's true with a trustee. Well, it's an incremental taxing. We take future taxes to help rehabilitate buildings, and in Flossmoor we've done it with infrastructure. The downtown area is aging. Those buildings are 100 years old, and they need some help. And really, to keep them viable, I mean, they need something like this thing that's shot in the arm. We've been really fortunate. Our downtown looks great. We have people there. We have, one person used to say, that we have a parking problem, and the parking problem was that no one was ever there. You could always get a parking spot. It's not that way anymore. And with the station's been there 26 years now, and across the street, the bistro and, the various businesses, they need a boost. And we also need some, an opportunity to try and get Flossmoor Road developed in other areas also. Well, that's a good question. We're kind of right now reevaluating some of the areas that we plan to take that runoff. So obviously we're trying to solve that situation, or at least improve it greatly. We now have an award-winning public works department. We did something if you haven't driven down Berry Lane, everyone in the village needs to go down Berry Lane. We paved that street with permeable pavers. So we're doing everything in our interest to, alleviate that problem. Part of the TIF money will go towards some of the buildings and their old infrastructure too. So hopefully we're going to make some big improvements in that area. But they're just the issue is, where are we going to take the water? Do we take it over to Heather Hill School? Do we bring it over, east of the town? So it's difficult. Okay. Or for instance, there's private property. Flossmoor Golf Club has been a reservoir for water over the years. So there's just things that we're still looking at, but we're working on it. That's all we've been doing for 28 years, is working on infrastructure. Yeah. And it needed it. At the last board meeting, we hired, it's a firm that specializes in finding a fit for our community in terms of retail space. It's important. We need amenities. People want restaurants and nice places to go. They don't want just auto body shops. And we've avoided that. I mean, there's been interest in that type of a row along Valmer Road. That's not what we want for our village, our citizens. We want something better. So we just hired this firm, and they're going to be our consultant for the next year. And we're looking for, we're very hopeful about that. We've never done anything like that before. We've done psychographics. We've spent money on the problem, but we never actually, hired a firm like this to go out and try and develop business for us. So I'm excited about it. We've done a lot. I mean, too, you mentioned Meyer. I'd say over the past 10 years, our sales tax revenue's gone probably from $250,000 to over $1 million. So, I mean, that's important. We need that money. Yeah. Because the state is taking money away from us, so it's harder and harder. Yeah. And especially with the aging infrastructure, there was a time when I started where we could repave every street in 15 years. The rotation was every street got paved. Can't do it anymore. I think it's more like 42 years now. So that's another big accomplishment that we probably should talk about, is that we've gone to a system of repair for our streets that will prolong the streets and make it easier for us to keep things up.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that. We also switched over our water supply, and we did that seamlessly over the past maybe 4 years. We knew about that 10 years ago, and it's taken this long to kind of develop a strategy and a plan, and it's not talked about a lot, but we don't get water from Harvey anymore. We get it through Hammond, through Chicago Heights and Homewood. And I mean, that may be the biggest accomplishment yet. So we're really proud of that. That took a lot. Well, I think that, our new events coordinator, Stephanie, has done a great job. I mean, she's kind of revitalized that effort. But I think our residents want strong services, some events, and I think they want, a response time from the fire department if they need an ambulance, a couple minutes, a minute maybe. I think those are the things that people move to Flossmoor for, and the beautiful homes, the tranquil setting. You usually know your neighbors, you wave at people on the streets, you can walk anywhere in Flossmoor, you can walk downtown and hop a train into the city if you want. So we have some, I don't, when you say change, I don't think people are really looking for change.
Okay.
I think they're looking for great services, great community, great schools, great parks, and I think we have all that here. Well, I think we're taking steps. We just had a report from the CRC about the steps they think that we need to take. That was a tragedy, there's no doubt about it. But, I think basically we're doing all we can do. I think if someone wanted to see the tapes of what happened, they're out for the public, so they're available. But I don't think that we've done anything outside. I mean, I think we're doing a good job with it. We've communicated, we let people talk at our meetings, and I think our police department is well trained, okay? And I think there are some things that are going to be taking place in the future that will, spark some interest in the community and make a lot of people happy. But it's just, how can you talk about a tragedy? If I thought something was awry, or if I ever thought that there was misconduct, I would be talking about it right now. But I've seen the tapes, and we just have to let it play out with the state police and the DA. Well, I always say, and this is some of my campaign literature, I always say that I don't feel like an old man, but I enjoy what I do. I still work 6 days a week. I'm on the board, and I think that pretty much, the community is filled with younger people, a lot of which, if you move to Flossmoor, it's because of something that I did on the board.
Oh.
We've had 28 years of success. Mm-hmm. I can't think of any failures. And we're still getting new businesses and new amenities. We're taking care of infrastructure. We're doing all the things that we are supposed to do, and we're doing it well. There's not a community that out there that wouldn't kind of love to be in our situation in terms of our financing, our staff, and the people that we deal with. So I give a lot of kudos to the village staff, but they are excellent.
Okay.
They make my job a lot easier. I think that we're probably going to have to go that route, because every year the state looks to take money away from us that we depended on. And if we're going to keep Flossmoor strong, we're going to keep the infrastructure up to date and working, we're going to have to find other sources. We're still going to need new businesses too, but we still have half the TIF area on Vollmer to develop.
Okay.
And we did that. We were so fortunate when we were able to get that property. We bought it rock bottom, and it's just turned out to be a big success for us. And normally I wouldn't advocate that village boards or village government should get in the business of real estate investment, but this was really an opportunity that we couldn't pass. Well, Well, I always say knowledge is power, and I have a lot of knowledge. Experience is good when it comes to governance and municipal governance. So I think probably on the board I have more of that than anyone. And you know, it's kind of funny because I look through the years. I'm 65 now, and basically I had a hand in hiring all these people. They're like my kids, but I still have a passion for it, and I'm very good at it. I know what I'm talking about. And when you go to a board like a, you know, I always say, I'm gonna vote for the people that are coming to the meetings, okay? And Michelle, I was so proud of Michelle because Michelle came to the meetings 2 years before she ran for mayor. She was on top of things, she knew what she was doing. That's important because when you get on a board like a village trustee position, you don't know what you're doing for 2 years. So if you don't have people that have the experience to run things, you know, it could put the village in a bad situation. So I'm the guy with the experience. I think I'm very good at it. And I think probably if you've moved to town in the past 28 years, it's because you want to live in a community that, you know, I helped run.